All right, so today we're going to be learning about solving equations using models. So we call this a balance model because we have to make it balance. And what that means is all of your x's or variables need to be on one side and all of your ones or regular numbers need to be on the other side. So we're going to do this using pictures at first to make sure that we understand the concept before we move into actually solving it. So the first thing I want you to see is right here I drew this box that says key. I want you to do the same thing. This is where you're going to show me what picture are you going to use to show me an x or a negative x or a 1 or a negative 1. So what I typically do is x, I make an open box. Negative x, I make a filled in box. And then for my ones, I do an open one for positive and a closed in one when I have a negative number. So this is a good way to draw it. This is also helpful if you need to solve it this way, kind of like we did integers. So we are given an example. So if you look at this example, it says x, so their x is their water cup, plus 2, so they put 2 positives in here. Equals, so on the other side, they have 5 positives. Okay? Then what they did was you have to get rid. So kind of like the battles that we used to do, you have to get rid of the same amount on each side because they're the same. So when they're the same, you get rid of them in equations. So that would leave us with the x all by itself, which is what we want because we don't like her anymore. And we are left with 3 on the other side. So that means that the solution would be x equals 3. You would double check this by taking the 3 and re-putting it in to the equation, replacing that x. So 3 plus 2 is 5. That is correct. So we're going to go ahead and try it over on our side, following these steps. So the first thing we're going to do is model the equation. So we have x plus 5 equals 9. So I'm going to put the x and 5 positives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice they're all open. Then we have on the other side of the equal sign, 9. So this is the x plus 5, and this is the 9. So I'm going to draw 9 positives. Now that I have modeled it, in the next one, I'm going to redraw it again, just so you see the steps. So x, 5 on one side and 9 on the other. And I'm going to get rid of, they're the same. Okay, so they're going to leave. So I'm going to get rid of 5 on each side. The reason why I'm getting rid of 5 is because our box needs to be all alone. That's our x. We don't like her anymore. So then, once this is done, we are left with our box, and we are left with 4 numbers left. So that means that we have x equals 4. If I was to retry this, I would replace the 4 where the x is up here. And I know that 4 plus 5 is 9, so that is the correct answer. Let's look at the next one. Same idea. This one, instead of using addition or subtraction, is using multiple x's. So I'm going to recreate my key. So my x is an open box. My 1 is an open circle. My negative x is a closed box, and my negative 1 is a closed circle. So here's what I want you to see. We have 2 x's, so 2 cups, because it says 2x. And then there are 6 ones over here. Then we want to see how many equal groups can they go to. So you're going to split it into 2 groups because you can only deal with 1 x at a time. So each one got its own group. And when they split the 6 evenly between them, they would each end up with 3. And if you were to replace 3 in here, 2 times 3 is 6. So that works out. So let's try it on our side. We have 2x equals 8. So 2x means I'm going to put 2 boxes. 8 tells me I'm going to put 8 open circles. Now I need to split them into 2 groups, because that's how many x's I have. So that means, oops, I totally forgot a whole number there. Whoopsies. So that means that each box would get 4. So X, or the box, would represent 4. X equals 4. If I wanted to try this out by plugging it in with the 2x, 2 times 4 does equal 8. So that is a perfect fit. One thing to remember is when you'll use the negatives is if you have minus. So if it's minus 5, then you would use negative 5. In that instance, you would not use them leaving together like we did in the first example. You would use them changing jerseys and moving over. I'll show you a little bit more of this in our example.